LKQ is a $14 billion company, publicly held based out of the US, but global in the amount of employees that we support. We almost have 50,000 team members throughout 35 different countries, and we work in the aftermarket automotive industry. Some of the challenges that we were evaluating at LKQ when I came on board in 2021 was how to capture the voices of our employees and allow them to participate in how they wanted to define their work culture and things that we could focus on to help increase their engagement. We really wanted to make sure that our employees had say in the future of LKQ. The additional challenge to that was that we are a global organization, and despite our size, we're actually fairly young, about 25 years old, and we had never really had anything connecting us globally to our employee population, and WorkBuzz was the perfect partner based out of the UK that certainly had a perspective on our European operations. And we're really trying to make sure that we're connecting all of the questions globally, all of the data globally, and trying to make sure that all of the voices of our employees, regardless of the language that they spoke, were represented in the feedback. Yeah, WorkBuzz certainly was the best partner for us for, I'd say, three different reasons. The first being that they had a unique perspective of being based in the UK and had a perspective for our European population that really no one that was based out of the US could provide. We consider WorkBuzz a partner throughout the year, regardless of whether we're in our season of survey, that we call it at LKQ. We've reached out for multiple different suggestions throughout the course of the year, whether it's through action planning, data interpretation, some additional reports, and sometimes just to check in with additional trends throughout the year. We have evolved the ownership of our survey for the past few years. And so they have also helped us to onboard a new leader of the survey actions. We have also added additional surveys to some of our original portfolio with WorkBuzz, including pulse surveys, exit surveys, onboarding surveys, and they've really become truly intimately involved with our people development strategy and the way that we engage and interact with our employees. And we've counted on them to help us interpret multiple data sets. Some of the metrics that we consistently measure through our WorkBuzz survey is both the well-being and the mental health of our employee population. And through our WorkBuzz survey, we've been able to gauge since COVID, really, the state of the mental health and the physical well-being of our workforce through a couple key questions. We've also been able, through some suggestions, how to make some significant changes to our well-being program that really captures some key benefits that I think our employees have really reacted well to. And so we've consistently seen that score increase over year, or when we've seen it dip in certain locations, we've been able to take pretty targeted action to some of the things that we have wellness champions inspired to thrive with our program, and we've been able to try to kind of target the efforts there to some of those ones with lower scores. So I would say it has helped our overall well-being strategy, our holistic well-being strategy, and our Inspired to Thrive program was kind of born out of the feedback from our workforce in general, of not just focusing on just the mental and physical well-being of our employee population, but focusing on their career development and inclusive culture, financial empowerment, and of course, purposeful community giving, in addition to the mental and physical well-being. So it's become more of this program that is linked together. And the other component that we've seen the metrics really improve is through our inclusive culture efforts. So we rolled out a global respect and inclusivity commitment to our global population as a result of some of the feedback that we received from our employees wanting a bit more forward action in our inclusion strategy. And we have now seen a lot of favorable results, and that's one of the biggest categories that we've seen increase through. In addition to those actions, we've put together some global employee resource groups with our women's network, really trying to make efforts to increase those metrics and increase the year over year activities that we're doing in our inclusion strategy. The other metric that we've seen some considerable improvements in is the decrease of turnover in our top talent. So we do track who our top talent is, and we've made a lot of efforts around their career development, and we've seen a decrease in the voluntary turnover from that population, which is really powerful for us because that means our leadership is consistent year over year, and we continue to invest in their career development. I think WorkBuzz has been a great partner with LKQ so far since 2021, since we started this journey with WorkBuzz. And each year, WorkBuzz has evolved not only their product, but they've listened to us about how do we create action plans that are more meaningful. That's one of the things that I think WorkBuzz spent a lot of time in research and development, is helping us to come up with a action plan process that we can track in a system that is as simple as the platform itself, which has been very meaningful to our leaders. Going forward, the partnership with WorkBuzz, I think, will help us identify trends in the employee engagement space and help us identify a true listening strategy to our employees, and kind of evolve our process each year to try to enhance it to really allow our employees' voices to come forward and help us make impactful decisions with our leadership. And that's really where I think we can help focus, is taking the education that our human resources function and our top level leaders have, but get it down to that general management level of how they can make a difference in their employees' lives through empathy, compassion. How do we make sure that our leaders are the best that they can be? And I really see WorkBuzz helping us with educating our leaders on how their actions influence the engagement of their employee population. I just think that WorkBuzz has listened to our feedback, and in addition to the platform that is very simple and easy to use, it is one of the most simple platforms that our leaders have ever had to use. It's very intuitive, and we get almost zero questions from our manager population on how to navigate the platform, which is very important because we operate in multiple different languages, and the platform just is very simple, easy to use. In addition to that, we have their data science team, and the partnership that we have with their scientific aspect of the data really helps us to make meaningful decisions, both global action planning and localized action planning. And together we've come up with ways to interpret the data to give us different reports that are meaningful to our HR team and our management team. But it's been each year there's been an enhancement to the process, and we're only in our fourth year of launching our global engagement survey. And each year it becomes an embedded part of our culture, and we can't wait to go through the process every year where we evaluate the questions, determine what's the right way for our business to move forward, and then spend a lot of time talking about the results and action planning. WorkBuzz helps us to really capture the voice of the employee. And the You Said We Delivered action plan is a very simple process that our employee level down to hourly employees can understand. And I think that's the reason that we've had such good high participation and a lot of really great results over a period of time. The biggest thing that we can do as an employer is make sure that we're taking action, and that's the piece that we need to make sure that we're focusing on for our employee population. Is we've asked them the questions that they want to see in their work environment, but it doesn't really matter if we don't take action. And so focusing continually on those action plans has really helped us to move the needle forward in a lot of areas that we consider critical to our operations, including improving productivity, including we know that a highly engaged workforce actually has the best productivity possible. And so that's what we're really focused on, is keeping that work population highly engaged.